What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to try and get some of the tannins out from the new fish cave we made the other day for the aquarium. It is turning the water significantly copper colored or kind of yellowish, which isn't a bad thing, but I like it nice and clear. So let's do a quick water change. Let's make sure our filters, everything look good today, and make sure the fish are nice and happy, and knock this out real quick. As soon as I walked into the fish room, all the fish wanted to greet me. It's pretty funny. I filmed it. I'll show you guys here in a minute. Yeah, let's get into today's video. Let's get the 125-gallon change swapped out, vacuumed out, refreshed, and ready to go for another couple weeks. Let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we already dropped in our sub pump, our pump, whatever you call it. I don't know, I'm not an expert. But we're gonna drain the water. Let's get this guy plugged in. I have the hose just ran to the backyard, let it water the grass, essentially. A brand new grass. I believe I have a spot right here for it. There we go. Whoops. All right, pump is on, and we're draining water. We're gonna do probably just a hair over 50% water change, just because the tannins, typically I do about 30% on the 125-gallon tank. It's a huge volume of water, it does really well. So yeah. All right, I gotta run and grab an extension cord real fast so we can get the vacuum in there and get that stuff vacuumed out that does not need to be in there. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we're gonna hit the switch and start to vacuum all the gunk out of here. Maybe? Not sure. Might have a clog in the vacuum. Just pull it off real fast and see. Variety of. It's like we essentially got a bunch of moss and stuff stuck in there. Try and get that gunk out of there. Looks better. Let's give that a go. All right, let's try this one more time. See if we can't get better suction from the vacuum. There we go. Now we're doing pretty good. Try and stay. Well, I was gonna try and steer clear of that moss, but it got sucked right up in there, so hopefully it gets chewed up. And the whole goal here is just to get rid of all the gunk at the bottom, excess food that the plecos aren't eating. And if I leave it in there, they will get to it. Like you can see Paul right there underneath that piece of driftwood. But it's better to clean it out, especially if you're going to do a water change on the scale like I'm going to do, 50% or more. You know, leave as much bacteria as you can, but also get rid of anything that's going to cause your tank to have spikes in ammonia or anything like that. So the whole goal is healthy fish, man. Oh, I got stuck. Oh, there we go. So yeah, this just vacuums out the bottom. I do keep one wave maker at the very bottom of the tank in the right-hand corner, which just creates a kind of a circular flow around the bottom of the tank. And it does allow most of this stuff to make it over to the sponge filters, but some stuff gets heavy and settles. I will use Seacom's Clear every once in a while, maybe the day before I vacuum, to settle anything in the tank. I did not do this. I haven't done that in a while, just because the filter floss does a really good job of filtering out the tank. So I've just kind of relied on that. So we basically got about half a bucket worth of stuff out of the tank. That'll make a huge difference in keeping our water column nice and stable. And keep in mind, guys, I'm not a professional. I just do this in my office because I like fish. honestly, if I could, my back wasn't so messed up, I'd probably be out fishing a whole lot more and filming videos like that. But being a fish keeper, you know, I'm pretty new to this. Obviously, I watch a lot of other guys. Shout out to the Mexicali fish keeper. Really helped motivate me into progressing this whole channel. But yeah, man, so learning, growing, just like the fish cave we made just the other day. You guys can see it right there. Turned out pretty cool. We got some moss growing out of it that we planted in there, and fish love it. So yeah, we're working on growing and learning new things. Tank does not drain very quickly due to the worst hose in the world being purchased by me. Want. Yeah, this hose is terrible. So yeah, a lot of stuff up and coming with the channel. We got one episode out about my tiny warehouse. If you haven't seen that, go check it out after this video, of course. But yeah, hoping to have construction starting in a week or so. A lot to do in that little room. It's not very big, but it's a lot of work. We want it to be epic. Going for a certain kind of vibe in the fish room. Super chill, you know. So we'll see how that turns out. But for now, I'm gonna time lapse you guys to the end of this so we can get this water change done. Okay, so right there, as you can see, about 50%, we're gonna call it. So we lift this up just briefly to break the vacuum. If this stays submerged and all you do is unplug your pump, it's gonna continue to siphon water out. It's already created a vacuum, it's siphoning. So just know that if you walk away from the tank thinking, I unplugged it, I'm good to go, you're probably not. So always just pull it out real quick. That's all you gotta do to break the cycle or the siphon, and it'll stop sucking water. All right, real quick before we go into another time lapse, filling the tank back up, let's review what we did, all right? We pulled the pump out, and for this being just to get rid of tannins, we're not gonna do a whole lot inside the tank. So a typical water change, you may go a little bit further, but in this situation, we're simply replacing water to remove tannins. We've got good bacteria, our plants are pretty clean, so we're not going too in depth today. But before we jump into the time lapse of filling the tank back up, I wanted to review with you guys what I do to help keep my tank healthy, clear, and the fish happy. So the main ingredient of every aquarium, in my opinion, should be prime. I'm new to fish keeping, I'm a fish keeping beginner, and I've used this on every water change I've ever done. Works amazing. I've used some API products that work really well too, but this has been my go-to every time. It's a little bit more concentrated, and if you're gonna do larger tanks like I am, you want a heavier dose, so you could use a smaller amount of chemical instead of having to pour a whole bottle into the tank. So that's number one. Use this for every water change to dechlorinate the water, get heavy metals out of the water, make it safe for the fish. Second thing I'll do that particularly pertains to a water change is Seacom's Clarity, another product that they use that I really enjoy. This, what it does is it collects all the contaminants in the water and it lets them bunch together, making them heavy enough to fall to the bottom, which makes your vacuum much more effective when you have no substrate at the bottom of the tank whatsoever. So it'll rain down all the nastiness, it'll cloud out the tank, and then the next day you come in, you vacuum, and you pick it all up. It does wonders for your water column. And last but not least, salt. You know, I keep my fish pretty, my tanks are pretty saline, diluted, whatever you want to call it, they're salty. You know what I mean? The tanks love it. The fish love it. And mostly I do this if I see my fish super irritated and scratching all over the driftwood or the edge of the tank or whatever, the next water change, I'll do a little bit of salt. It helps them breathe a little bit easier, helps them stay calmer, and I've never had an issue with it. Just make sure that you get a, what is it called? A refractometer, I believe is what it's called. If you're going to do saltwater tanks, or if you're going to do super heavy salt in a tank like this, or if you're doing brackish water stuff, like freshwater puffers often need brackish water when they get older. But yeah, so that's what I use to keep the fish happy. So what I'll do now, and you may or may not see it in the time lapse, is I'll fill up 1/4 of the tank, add some prime, do the last quarter, add some prime. So let's get right into filling this tank back up and getting these fish nice and happy. They're probably really pissed off that I took half their water volume, and now they're all stuck hanging out together at the bottom of the tank. All right guys, so as you can see, the tank looks much better, and that's all you really got to do. The wood's going to secrete nutrients even long after it stops secreting color. So if you don't want the tannins in your water, you're going for this kind of look rather than the more natural look. And the tannins do add that, man. It looks just like a river underwater if you've ever filmed underwater. Super cool. So maybe one of these days we'll do an all natural tank using the tannins, using dirt, making an underground river aquatic scape. But for now, we're gonna wrap it up right there. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys stayed to this point in the video to watch, and I hope this helps you guys remove any tannins you have that you don't want. So have a great day, guys. See you on the next one. As always, thanks for watching, guys. YouTube thinks you might like this video right here. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out.